Reading section. Before you read, try to predict the topic as quickly as possible, maybe in 10 seconds or less. You do this by just reading the title, and if it has a subheading, read that too. If you still can't predict the topic, go ahead and skim through the introduction. But typically, you should be able to tell what the passage is about by looking at the title and subheading. Also, before you read, ask what type of text it is. It could be a story. That's when it progresses from first this happened, next that happened, then something else happened, and finally the ending happened. Or it could be a problem and solution, a passage that describes a problem and then describes the solution to the problem. Another type of reading passage is an argument. It will show positive and negative aspects of the argument under consideration. So ask yourself, what type of text is it? A story, problem, or argument? Ask yourself, what is the layout of the passage? So find where each section begins and where each section ends, so that you know which questions correspond to which part of the reading. How many questions for each section? Decide how long to spend on each. So when you start your passage, which questions will you answer first? Have a plan. That'll make things a lot easier for you when you actually get to answering the questions. Now, as you begin to read, it can be helpful to create a sort of mental map of the reading passage. What is the topic or purpose of each paragraph? You can just write down one or two words that describes each paragraph. You can write these down if you want. Remember, it's okay to take notes in the reading section. So you can create these mental maps. Some people like to draw circles, and inside each of those circles, they write down one or two words to represent each paragraph. Scan for the general idea. You need to do steady reading, so not too fast, but not too slow. Sometimes I like to use my finger as a guide to my reading, and I just keep moving my finger forward. This helps me to read fast enough, because sometimes if I don't use my finger, I read too slowly. But if it's a really important idea, you might want to stop, pause, and think about the important idea for a few seconds. Find topic sentences. The topic sentence is usually the first sentence in each paragraph. It tells you the main idea of the paragraph. So you might not even need to finish reading the whole paragraph if you already know what the topic sentence is, and so you know what the paragraph is about. Read in a smart order. First, read the intro paragraph. Second, read the conclusion. Then you can go back and read through the other paragraphs very quickly if you need to find the answers, but don't just start out blasting from start to finish and reading everything. It's best to look at the introduction and conclusion first so that you know what the reading passage is about. Looking for answers in the reading. Sometimes the reading passage itself can give you the answer. This comes in 3 different patterns. So the first is exactly the same pattern, the same wording. So if it's worded in the reading as may result, and one of the answers is may result, that's very easy. You have exactly the same pattern of words. The second pattern is a similar pattern. So in the reading, it might say taken before. In the answer, it would be taken previously. They mean the same thing, but they're different words. A third way is different words, same idea. So in the reading, it might say fixed up the house. And the correct answer would be improved the home. It's using different words, but it's the same idea. Another technique is to find the range of the task. What this means is you should focus on the middle of the passage. The first words in the passage typically don't give you any answers. And the very last words in the passage don't give you any answers either. You could start by finding the location of the example answer. Then locate the answer for the final question in the section. If you can find the answer to the final question, then you know there probably aren't going to be any answers after the final question. All of your other questions will simply be in the middle of these two.